mind eclipse, philosophical weight, and the natural reading of numbers as requested. There is a question that those who thirst to conquer the summit always ask themselves, which is why on the same land, with the same starting point, some become the dominators while others remain forever the followers. If you choose to watch all 15 minutes of this video, I do not promise to hand you a stack of cash, but I do commit to giving you the master key to unlock the mental map of the most powerful empires on the planet. Understanding the opposition between the two oceans of America is not just learning about geography, but learning how the flow of money operates, the ruthlessness of time, and how the greatest minds in the world are manipulating their own fate. Consider this a zero-risk investment in your intelligence, where true wealth begins by understanding the underlying laws of power. The United States is not a monolithic entity, but a silent civil war between two ideologies, two ways of life, and two visions of the future. When you fly from the City of Angels, Los Angeles, to the financial capital of New York, you are not just crossing time zones, but stepping between two completely different worlds. There, the streets narrow, the buildings soar as if to challenge the heavens, and the pace of human footsteps becomes more urgent and pragmatic than ever. The culture, the way people dress, and even the way they spend money reflect a deep divide in the soul of a nation. Statistics do not lie, and they will show us the indelible generational cracks between the two shores. In the Northeast, the population density is like a giant pressure cooker with about 1,000 people per square mile, creating a fierce competition that is suffocating. Meanwhile, in the state of California, this number drops to about 250 people, providing a space wide enough for the craziest dreams to breathe. The difference also lies in the very bricks that build their homes, as the average house in Boston was started in the year 1963, while in Seattle, that figure is 1984. This is not just a distance of years, but a distance between traditional conservatism and the constant innovation of those who dare to change. Why does a nation with the same federal legal system and the same language host two such opposing realities? To understand this, we must go back in time to the 17th century, when the first British footsteps were placed on North American soil. The year 1607 is not just a date, but the starting point for a stratified social structure where wealth is accumulated over many generations. The first settlers brought with them a thirst for religious freedom, but simultaneously established extremely harsh institutions. In that century, if you wanted to survive, everything had to be within walking distance and close to the docks, the only lifelines connecting to the outside world. Buildings were constructed side by side, utilizing every precious inch of land for trade and survival. As the cities on the East Coast grew, they built upon themselves, creating a network of nearby urban centers with travel distances measured in days rather than weeks. This proximity fueled communication, commerce, and ultimately the unity of the original 13 colonies. New York City was founded in the year 1624, Boston in the year 1630, and Philadelphia in the year 1682, with its exemplary grid layout by the year 1776, when the Declaration of Independence was signed. The East Coast had already had more than a century to perfect its machinery of rule. Prestigious educational institutions also emerged, laying the foundation for a new elite class. Harvard University was founded in the year 1636, Yale University in 1701, and Princeton University in 1746. These names are not just schools, but fortresses of prestige, creating a society with a clear hierarchy and secured wealth. On the East Coast, your status depends not only on the money you have in the bank, but also on the last name you carry, the school you attended, and the connections you possess. It is a world of tradition, where old values are preserved almost radically, and strangers find it difficult to break into the leading class. While the East was intoxicated with its heritage, a new wave began moving toward the setting sun. In the year 1803, the Louisiana Purchase completely changed the fate of America as the nation's area doubled overnight. Napoleon Bonaparte, needing money for his endless wars in Europe, sold this entire vast territory for $15 million. This is considered one of the greatest bargains in human history, as each acre cost only about 4 cents. However, this expansion was only half the story, as the West Coast was still out of reach for the United States government at that time. In the 1840s, the Northwest was still under British control, while the Southwest was still Mexican territory. At this very moment, an idea of destiny rose, pushing Americans forward with a fierce religious conviction. Manifest destiny was not a specific policy, but a school of thought that Americans had a divine mission to master the entire continent. They wanted to stretch power from the Atlantic coast to the Pacific coast. Despite the geographical difficulties and the presence of indigenous peoples, this migration began to shape a new type of human, completely different from the glamorous aristocrats of the East. To go west, you had to be a special individual, someone who dared to give up safety in exchange for absolute freedom. The journey across the continent in the mid-19th century was a literal brutality, where death was always lurking in every mile of the road. Travelers had to face scorching deserts, snow-covered mountains, and a near-zero infrastructure. The trip lasted many months, and up to 10% of the participants never reached their destination. So, who were the ones who dared to engage in this life-and-death game? Certainly not those who were successful in New York or Boston, nor those with stable jobs and high positions in society. Those who left were the malcontents, the dreamers pushed to the margins, and even those who had failed miserably in their hometowns. These were the misfits who could not live with the strict rules of the East. People who valued potential over security and prioritized freedom over structure. This natural selection created a community on the West Coast with the DNA of rebels and risk-takers. Everything exploded in the year 1848, when gold was found at Sutter's Mill, starting the legendary California Gold Rush. Hundreds of thousands of people left everything behind to chase the golden light, creating the fastest and largest migration in human history. They came not only from the East, but from all over the world, creating a multi-ethnic society from its very inception. The population of San Francisco skyrocketed from 800 people in the year 1848 to more than 25,000 people in just 2 years. When the gold rush passed, most of them did not return, but stayed to build new states with a completely different mindset. The government also began to intervene with laws like the Homestead Act of 1862, giving 160 acres of free land to those who dared to stay and settle the West for 5 years. This was a state-sponsored gamble, where people were encouraged to be self-reliant and not depend on anyone. This period gave birth to the image of the Wild West, where the law sometimes only lay in the barrel of a gun and personal courage. Today, when you observe the opposition between the two shores, you will see the mark of the pioneers still present in every breath of the West Coast. The openness, tolerance, and relaxed social rules here are not accidental. They arose from the need to live among strangers of different backgrounds in frontier towns. In the year 1870, when the East had long been stable, Los Angeles had only 5,000 inhabitants, and Seattle even had only 1,000. West Coast cities were not constrained by old planning maps, but developed according to a completely different logic of the industrial age. Unlike New York, where planning was shaped in the year 1811 to optimize walking space, Western urban areas spread out according to the logic of electric streetcars and automobiles. This flexibility in urban design turned the West Coast into a paradise for private vehicles, where humans could master their own space. In the year 1887, electric streetcars appeared in Los Angeles, and just a decade later, the Pacific Electric Railway connected the city center to distant beaches. The red cars system in the 1920s was once the largest electric railway network in the world before it gave way to the absolute dominance of the automobile. The economic difference between the two regions also reflects the opposition between the past and the future, between stability and breakthrough. The East Coast remains the reign of old money, of traditional banking systems, and leading biomedical research institutes. There, people worship orthodoxy, formal swits, and standard behavior in every word. In the field of entertainment, the East still prioritizes academic artistic values such as Broadway theater or large art museums. Conversely, the West Coast is the land of self-made billionaires, of Silicon Valley with technologies that change the world, and of the cinematic capital of Hollywood. The work culture in the West also correctly reflects the spirit of the homesteaders, where the final result is more important than expensive outfits. You can see million-dollar programmers going to work in shorts and t-shirts, people who might arrive late but work tirelessly for crazy ideas. This freedom stems from the everything is possible mindset of those who once conquered the harshest lands. Do not forget that. Before technology took over, it was the film industry that put California on the world map with the gathering of artistic souls and eccentrics. An industry that does not require degrees or lineage, but only requires talent and unlimited creativity. Many Americans often joke that people on the West Coast are nice but not kind, while people on the East Coast are kind but not nice. In the West, people can offer a very bright social smile but keep a certain distance in their souls. In the East, a person might yell at your face on the street but will readily stop their car to help you change a tire in the middle of a blizzard. This opposition is also reflected in political and social views, where the East tends to be more socially conservative and values community. Meanwhile, the West is a fortress of progress, where individual rights and freedom of expression are placed in the ultimate position. The weather also plays a significant role in molding the character of the people in these two lands. The Atlantic brings to the East a harsh climate with violent storms and distinct seasonal changes, training people in resilience and discipline. Conversely, the Pacific brings to the West warmth and stability, where sunlight is present almost year-round. This favor of nature has made the lifestyle in California more relaxed, slower, and sometimes less pressured than the hustle of New York. However, no matter how different they are, both shores are indispensable links to create the overall strength of a superpower. The tri-state area of the East and the greater Los Angeles region are the two wealthiest and most populous economic centers, carrying most of the responsibility for running the nation. If Wall Street leads the world financially, Silicon Valley shapes how humanity communicates and works through technology. The combination of the power of tradition and the breakthrough of innovation is the secret formula that has helped America maintain its leading position for many decades. Understanding this opposition, we understand that in life, there is no single path to success. You can choose the stability and discipline of the East, or choose the freedom and risk of the West to write your own story. America is like an entity with two sides. always struggling and complementing each other to develop constantly. When looking at this big picture, you will realize a profound lesson in strategic thinking for business and life. Sometimes we need the rigor of the system to maintain a legacy, but we also need the breaking of rules to create great turning points. Never limit yourself to a single pattern, because true wealth lies in the ability to adapt and leverage the strengths of both opposing worlds. The final question is not which place is better, but which coast your soul belongs to on the journey to conquer new heights. Reflect on this and start building your own empire today.